So for the latest developments on the story, we cross now to SABC News reporter Chriselda Lewis. She's outside the former Speaker's home here in Johannesburg. So Chriselda, good morning. And what a busy morning it has been. Of course, yesterday there was the anticipation that not only that Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula would tender a resignation, but also that she would probably be arrested and processed. So please give us the latest from where you are.
Well, Sakina, from about just an hour ago, there'd been some activity here outside the home of the former Speaker of the National Assembly, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula. Just a few moments ago, some police officers, just about a change of shift, had been taking place just before you did cross live to me. But we'll show you on the screen about 30 or 45 minutes ago or so, there were some vehicles that pulled up into the driveway here at the house of the former Speaker. We don't know who those individuals are, but they've since gone inside, and not many of them want to say anything at this particular point. And of course, indeed, after much speculation about how this debacle would unfold next, late yesterday afternoon, as you correctly pointed out, that statement dropping, confirming that Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula had resigned with immediate effect as Speaker of the National Assembly, as well as a Member of Parliament. So in that statement, which we in part read, she's stating, of course, that that resignation should not be misconstrued or is by no means an admission of guilt, but says she was stepping down to focus on dealing with the current investigation against her, restoring her reputation and basically preserving the reputation and integrity of Parliament. So now that resignation, if we just go back just a little bit, came just a day after the High Court in Pretoria, you'd recall, had dismissed her bid to interdict her arrest. She resigns, of course, under a dark cloud. She was essentially the country's chief lawmaker. So now these corruption allegations that she faces related to allegedly receiving kickbacks on tenders while she was defense minister. So what we now believe is that this morning there's a likelihood that Mapisa-Nqakula will be handing herself over to authorities today. So this home here behind me, you'd recall, is where the raid had taken place by authorities late last month, where we believe that some items had been seized. And at this hour, there's been very little activity, but few individuals going inside the house who are wearing black suits, as well as carrying some suitcases. So, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, if we just look at, a bit of a history, has been the National Assembly Speaker since August 2021. She was the 7th Speaker, I think, there, Sakina, since the dawn of democracy, and having served as a Member of Parliament for the past 30 years. So prior to being Speaker, Mapisa-Nqakula, you'd recall, was a member of the National Executive from 1994 to 2021, including as Minister of Defence and Military Veterans between, I think that was June 2012, and August 2021. Now that is where, in which these allegations against her emerged, Sakina, in that portfolio which she had held. Mapisa-Nqakula being investigated, over alleged corruption and bribery over a series of payments and alleged benefits, basically from a military a contractor, and the benefits totaling millions, we understand, during her term as a Minister of Defence. So there'd been lots of overnight reaction. Some of that you read to that resignation, the African National Congress basically confirming, that Mapisa-Nqakula's resignation letter had been officially received by the office of the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, the EFF labelling her resignation as long overdue, and just one step, it said, towards restoring accountability and transparency in Parliament. The UDM's Bantu Holomisa last night, I was taking a look at a tweet of his, basically saying President Ramaphosa had erred in appointing her as a Speaker in the first instance. The DA also, saying it would have wanted her to resign a whole lot earlier. So a lot of speculation over the past couple of days of what was due to unfold, but we understand there's a likelihood this morning that she'll be handing herself over to authorities. very little. I'm going to ask my colleague Nosiviwe just to move with me a little bit, and if he can show you some of the cars that are parked here outside. I'm just going to step out of shot in just a second as my colleague does that. There are some cars, 2 white cars, presumably what look to be cars of authorities. It looks like as well going inside. This just might be, my colleague Nosiviwe will also show you there. This looks to be what a change of shift of the police officers that are guarding the property of the former Speaker of the National Assembly. Those police officers that are going inside. And I say this on the basis, Sakina, that I did see a bit earlier on the police officers who had been here since early this morning when we arrived had basically come out and jumped into a vehicle. So this is nothing but a change of shift at this particular time. I've had no sight of any of the occupants inside the house here this morning, but certainly we'll wait to see what unfolds as the morning progresses. But speculation at this point is that she's likely, over the past couple of days, including yesterday, there had been some speculation that she will hand herself over to authorities. That speculation continues this morning, but there certainly seems to be a likelihood that that will take place.
Well, thanks so much for that, Chriselda. And of course, Chriselda will be there keeping us abreast of the developments. She's outside the house of the now former Speaker of the National Assembly. And yes, Chriselda, quite right. Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula is the 7th Speaker of the National Assembly since our democracy dawned in 1994.